Mr. Hawazi Daipi, Senior Parliamentary Secretary, Ministry of Education and Ministry of Manpower. Ms. Chan Lai Fong, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Chairperson, NIE Council. Ms. Lo Kagek, Deputy Director General of Education Schools, cum Director of Schools, Ministry of Education. Professor Lee Sing Kong, Director, NIE. Distinguished guests, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, mom and dad, a very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you everyone for making the effort to celebrate this milestone in our lives of us. We appreciate you sitting through the many talks and the presentation of scrolls, and especially for clapping endlessly for people you do not know. Kudos to you all. And now to my classmates, fellow educators, babysitters, event planners, counselors, and multitasker extraordinaires. We made it. I don't know about you, but my time in NIE was some of the hardest I've worked in my entire life. What started as a relatively relaxed period in Term 1 turned into a bullet train of doom in Term 2. And who could forget the 10 relaxing, stress-free weeks of practicum? And yet, whatever Term 2 was does not compare to the mammoth task ahead of us. We are now full-fledged, fully qualified teachers, and our responsibility is no longer to ourselves, but to our students' futures. It is this responsibility which makes our jobs joyous, difficult, important, and hard. When our students achieve, it is because we help them achieve, and when we fail with them. Our job is anything but easy, and yet here we are, sitting in these chairs because somewhere, somehow, inside of us, we believe we can make a difference in someone's life. I believe that each of us has some sort of idealism that fuels us, where we believe that everyone can learn, be nurtured, and is a precious individual. I don't know whether every teacher starts out with the same idealism as we do, but I have seen so many instances where teachers have lost their passion and drive. They have become bogged down and simply jaded. So it is with this in mind that I have entitled my speech today, "You are more than an APT form." We are all performers. In our world today, and especially in Singapore, our lives revolve around goals and standards. Just think back to our primary school days. At the age of 9, we wanted to get into the EM1 stream to give us the best chance of doing well in the PSLE so that we could get into a good secondary school and a JC, which would lead to a good university, which would also then lead to a well-regarded and high-paying job. So how did we end up as teachers? As teachers, we need to be seen as outstanding, so we take on multiple leadership roles in school. We train and drill our students so that their grades will improve and our ranking will go up, and we fashion the most innovative and groundbreaking lessons that incorporate ICT during our lesson observations, just so that we will get a good report on our APT forms. Now, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against competition, and I believe that the meritocratic system is the best and most fair way for our country to progress. However, when the consciousness to perform becomes so dominant in our lives, and it dictates our every move and decision, we cease to be ourselves, and we're living only to please someone else. How does this relate to us as teachers? Throughout our teaching careers, we will get surrounded and consumed by the plethora of tasks that teaching entails. Events, CCAs, CCDs, marking, setting papers, parents, and the list goes on. As all these items fill our lives, it will become increasingly harder to spend more time with our students, and increasingly easier to give the excuse that I'm too busy. And as we worry about how we're performing as teachers and whether we're going to get the next promotion or pay raise, because let's face it, we have families to feed and a mortgage to pay. We might even tell our own future children, "I'm sorry, but mommy has no time for you tonight." The problem with performance is that the focus is on ourselves, and in doing so, the ones who really need us become neglected. Colleagues, fellow educators, this afternoon, if you remember nothing else about my speech, then remember this: you are more than an APT form. What is an APT form anyway? It is an assessment of performance in teaching. a list of observable behaviors that supposedly denote a teacher who is excelling or proficient in their craft. It is a set of criteria that someone has drawn up, and it has become the boxes that we must tick in order to be considered a good teacher. But you are more than an APT form. You are more than a cookie-cutter teacher, and you are more than a set of evaluations. Yes, you will have to be assessed and judged during your teaching career, but don't ever let this be the focus of your energies. Let our students be your focus. And why do I say all this? Because I believe that the best teacher is someone who is genuine, who is themselves, and who teaches from the heart. Each of us is different. We have our own strengths and our own weaknesses. Some of us are better at building rapport, others with discipline, yet others with clarity in our explanations. When we're out in our schools, we may be tempted to be someone that we're not, because that may get us popularity, or we might be seen to be better teachers. But friends, I want to tell you this. You are the best teacher when you are a true version of yourself, simply because you are the best at being yourself. No one else can be the teacher that you can be, because no one else has the exact mix of traits which you possess. Every single teacher in this room today is needed for a particular student in a particular place. Always be true to yourself and trust your instincts. You are the one who sees your students every day, so you know their needs best. I think we need to be brave people. We need to be brave enough to say, that can wait for tomorrow, I'm going home to rest. We need to be brave enough to be true to ourselves, even if that could mean that we don't get such good reviews with our superiors. We need to be brave enough to trust that it will all work out in the end. Thank you for your kind attention, and before I end off, I would like to leave you with this quote by the writer Kurt Vonnegut. Be soft. Do not let the world make you hard. Do not let pain make you hate. Do not let the bitterness steal your sweetness. Take pride that even though the rest of the world may disagree, you believe it to be a beautiful place. Fellow educators, I wish you a beautiful life ahead, helping others to realize their potential. Thank you.